Good morning, everyone. It's another bright and sunny day. I came out this morning. I was trying to get some clarity. I feel like I lose focus. I feel like I lose sight of what's important very quickly and very easily. I feel like a lot of it stems from my lack of understanding, because I don't understand what's important, because I don't feel like I understand what true love actually is from Jesus's perspective. I understand it from a human perspective, from the lack that I've experienced, the twisted, manipulated, distorted version of it that I've seen and felt and heard. And I was sitting here, and school's starting again for the kids, and there's been all of these things and people and ideas bombarding me with requests for my time, my mind, my energy, my will, my emotions. And I don't want to miss what God has planned. I want to say yes to Him and His leadership, His guidance, because I know He's got good works pre-planned for me to do. He planned them before the beginning of time. And I don't want to get to heaven and see a big list of amazing, beautiful things I could have done, but because I was distracted, because I was caught up in my own little Catherine world, I didn't. I want to be walking with Him, hand in hand, step by step, not wandering and coming back and wandering and coming back. I want to be lost in His presence. And so I came down here this morning, and He always does this. He always works way faster than I can imagine. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna need like 2 hours. I'm gonna have to sit here and focus. I gotta get myself under control. I gotta stop being distracted. I gotta get my together, man, because like this new season's coming up. He's got big plans, and I feel like I'm just like, whoa, like I don't know. And so I came down here, pulled out my journal, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start writing down what I know is true. I know that I was created with a purpose for a purpose. I know He gives all of His children authority as we learn to walk in obedience and learn how to follow His loving voice and be obedient to the voice of love rather than the voice of fear or shame or pressure or strife or bitterness or anger or any of those other voices. He wants us to listen to His voice of love and peace and wisdom. And so I got out my journal, and I was writing, and I got to the end, and I was like, I said, show me your will and the good things that you prepared for me to do, so that I can walk confidently, knowing that you are with me on the journey. Help my mind focus on your spirit and become sound and firm, steadfastly moving with and towards you. And that was like the end of my page, and I'm like, okay, like I think I'm ready to like listen, because I didn't want all of those other voices, all of those other thoughts. I didn't want all of those other things filling up my mind and distracting me. I wanted the peace in His still small voice, so that when I decided how to move forward, it wasn't me that was deciding, it was me deciding to listen to Him, because He had already decided what I should do. And I'm like, okay, Whatever happens, whatever words, whatever thoughts, whatever comes up, that's what I got to do. Whether it's easy, whether it's hard, whether I want to, whether I not, because I know he can change my heart. I know he can change my desires. I know he can change me because I've seen him do it time and time and time again. He's never failed. He's always faithful every single time. I'm the one that keeps failing. But he's so patient. He lets me fall 7 times and he helps me back up. And so I flipped the page. I took a deep breath. I closed my eyes. I was like, okay, everything's still. I looked up, and these are note cards that I have, like my favorite Bible verses. And I looked up, and there was one, Isaiah 26:3. And he said, flip it over. So I flipped it over. And Isaiah 26:3 says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you because they trust in you. And that, I was like, thank you. That verse just so perfectly matched and went along with my prayer and my request that I knew he was here. I knew he was listening, because the enemy does not bring peace. Ever. He does not have that ability. Jesus is the only Prince of Peace. The enemy only brings a false imitation. And that's been one of my hugest prayers lately, is I don't want any imitations. I'm tired of the fake. I'm tired of the phony. I'm tired of the distortion. I'm tired of this false version of peace, of joy, of love. I'm sick and tired of it. I don't want it. It's not fulfilling. It's not real. It only leaves you hurt and broken. And I don't want to keep allowing myself to get to that point because of my lack of understanding, because of my lack of relationship, because of my lack of belief that he can lead me and that I can listen to him. Because that's one of the biggest things that I lack belief in, is my ability to listen and follow him faithfully. I know that I can come back to him faithfully. I know that I can, like, there's a certain point where I just feel so dead and wretched and in pain that I will return to him, because I know he will faithfully restore me. But I don't want to keep allowing myself to get to that point. I want to have faith in my ability to walk faithfully with him, to hear his voice faithfully, and to say no to the other voices. He's given me kind of a list of instructions, kind of guidelines for how my life should operate moving forward. Different little tips and tricks to help me set boundaries. And sometimes I don't feel safe communicating those boundaries to others. I feel like I'll disappoint them or let them down. But I realize that those people, if it is like that, then they are the distortion. They are the very reason that I keep ending up in that spot. And so I can't fear letting man down. I can't fear man not believing in me when the creator of the universe does. I need to care more about letting him down and disappointing him because I didn't follow the instructions he gave me. That would be like if I worked at a retail store and someone brought an article up and I rang it up. I told them it's $159. And they're like, oh, that's so expensive. Like, can't you give it to me cheaper? No, I can't. I don't set the prices. I don't pick the rules. I just follow the instructions I was given for the job that I'm working at. And our job is to follow Jesus, to obey love. It says that Jesus found joy in his suffering and his obedience to God the Father. And I want that. My morning Bible verse for today was Isaiah 66:14. It said, when you see these things, your heart will rejoice. You will flourish like the grass. Everyone will see the Lord's hand of blessing on his servants and his anger against his enemies. I don't want the Lord angry at me because I'm not following love. I don't want the enemy happy with me because I am following him. I want my heart to rejoice. I want the peace. I want to flourish. I want his hand of blessing on me. And if I truly want those things, just like at a job, if you want your boss to give you a raise, if you want a commendation, if you want the peace of knowing that your boss values your work, your integrity, then you have to walk in obedience to the instructions you are given. And God has his own set of rules. Read the Bible. They're all in there. And it's not the Old Testament legalistic. That law was created. That was my Bible verse the other day. That law was created for immoral people who didn't understand how to love. And sometimes I'll look at it because I love kind of getting that understanding. I love that he's literally thought of almost every single instance. Because people whose heart is selfish, they'll say, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Well, what about if I did this? Or what if I twisted it this way? And I'm like, that's really your heart. You need to pray and ask that the Lord purifies it. That he cleanses it. That he gives you a new one that is soft and sensitive to his voice of love, rather than your own desire to get what you want when you want it. So he showed me that verse. Then he told me two things. And those two things only added up to 16 hours a week. And then he stopped. And I literally said out loud, because I wasn't prepared for him to stop that quickly, of telling me what he wanted me to spend my time on. I was like, that's it? And he goes, that's enough. He goes, the rest is your freedom to use your time creatively. He goes, I've heard your ideas. He goes, they're beautiful. He goes, but I don't want the pressure that the world puts on us to perform. He goes, I don't want to put that pressure on you. He goes, these are the two things that I want you to spend your time on. And here's an amount of time so that I have clear boundaries, so that I can feel safe and confident, that my mind can be steadfast, that if all else fails, as long as I do those two things, I can know in my heart, mind, soul, will, and emotions that his will for my life is being fulfilled. Didn't take me hours because it wasn't my job. He already knew. I just had to be willing to listen. I just had to be willing to stop the anxious thoughts, the wondering, the striving in my mind, to surrender to his leadership, to his voice. I love you guys so much. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. But fear is where our faith grows. Fear is from the enemy. So when I can sense that fear, I know I'm walking hand in hand with the creator of the universe, and that we are making the enemy tremble. And that he's doing his best to make me believe I'm trembling. But I'm not. That's him. That's not me. That's not mine. Because mine is a spirit of confidence. Mine is a sound mind thanks to Jesus Christ. I don't have to fight. I don't have to strive. I just have to walk in obedience day by day, step by step. His word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my step. And every day he will show me, he will lead me if I'm willing to listen. And then all I have to do is structure the rest of my time around these two things. And I can confidently know that his hand of blessing will be on every area of my life. I'm so grateful to him for this peace. And I know it's going to take more practice when I get back into the world and then I start getting bombarded again. But now I have two things, two very simple, easy things. And that's it. And so no matter what bombards me, I can hold on, I can focus, and I can learn to thrive. I love you guys so much, and he obviously loves you so much more. I hope you have an amazing day.